Hello, good evening and welcome to UTV Life. Sit back and relax a bit over the next half hour because on tonight's programme, my first guest is a Lurgan legend, but his appeal goes way beyond that, thanks to his appearances at major comedy festivals worldwide. And now Micky Bartlett is back home and he's here to tell me all about his brand new show, Rocket. And where's Rita this week?
I'm joined by a star-studded cast and the wonderful writer Mary Jones as dear Arabella prepares for a triumphant return to the Lyric in Belfast.
The Sunday Times best-selling author Steve Cavanagh will be telling me about his latest novel in the Eddie Flynn series, Two Kinds of Stranger. Our film critic Brian Henry Martin will be giving us his top entertainment tips for this week. And we'll have music from the Tumbling Paddies with You're All That Matters. Well, like many comedians, Micky Bartlett gets his inspiration from the absurdity of life around us, and after a very successful Australian tour, he's back home with his brand new show, Rocket, and I'm delighted he can join me now. Rick Barkey, good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. So you're only pretty much just back from Australia.
Got back last week, yeah.
And, I mean, jet lag, good, bad, indifferent?
It wasn't too bad on the way back. I was jet lagged when I was over there for about 2 weeks, which I go it once or twice a year, but that was the worst it's ever hit me. But this time around it was fine because I flew business class and was drunk the whole way home. So
oh, my goodness. Well, that was only because they forced you.
Yes, exactly, yeah. They said you had to lie down, Micky.
Can I also say, you've changed.
Yeah, no, it doesn't suit me at all. Everyone else in business class is going, what's he doing here? And I'm there in a GAA hoodie, covered in egg.
Well, listen, tell me about travelling around Australia because, I mean, I know the distances are huge.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how did you get about? Did you fly? Did you take...
No, I walked it. No, no, I always forget how big Australia is.
Yeah.
So I've been going out for years and I would sort of do these little roadshow tours around. You'd maybe go around the outskirts of Melbourne, outskirts of Sydney. But this time I flew to Perth, had my first show in Perth, and then flew to Sydney. And that's a 5.5 hour flight.
Yeah.
So it's essentially... Here to New York.
The Middle East.
Yeah. And you're just wiped out.
Yeah.
So, and I found that the 2 hour time difference between Perth and Sydney hit me harder than the 11 hour time difference between here and Sydney.
Well, listen, we know Australia's full of Irish people, so your gigs must have gone down really well and you don't have to change too much, or did you? No,
it's very interesting to go the whole way to Australia and you're standing backstage thinking, I wonder who's coming tonight. And you just hear, well, Brandy, still digging, good man. So I may as well just stay in Lurgan, done the gig there. It's all my cousins.
Because the shows that you do and the bits that you travel around, I mean, they can... Did you go into the Outback? Did you do those sort of clubs as well?
I've done that before, yeah. I've done a bunch of... so the roadshow tours we would go to sort of old mining towns and they would all have theatres, sort of purpose-built, and there's nothing else on. So you'd basically go there and the whole town would turn up. Like, you must be the comedian, eh? And you have to wait for the meat raffle to finish and all that sort of stuff. There's ballaminas everywhere, Pamela, that's what I've just covered. So yeah, I've done all that. I've been all over Australia. I've been up Alice Spring and Darwin and all over the place.
Yeah. But you don't really get a chance to see the country because you're too busy travelling in between each gig. I mean, you come off stage, you go to the hotel, whatever, and then next day you're moving on to another venue and that sort of thing.
The one time I've seen Ayers Rock was at night.
Oh, wow.
From a bus, and somebody just pointed at it.
There's Ayers Rock. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, Ayers Rock. Yeah. But you're back home, and listen, this is quite a tour. Marketplace Theatre on the 20th of September, then Portaferry, Monaghan, Ballymena, Buncrana, Newton Abbey, Cookstown, all points north, south, east and west.
Yeah.
So you'll not really have to change the show that much for the home audiences, will you?
Well, my shows tend to change over the course of the tour anyway.
Okay.
Because I get very, very bored saying the same thing twice.
You've heard it.
Yeah. So by the time, usually what happens is the tour, by the end of a tour, it's a completely different show than the start. So you can come see it twice, especially if you're in Armagh, because maybe sell tickets.
Can you go?
But yeah, and we're adding more dates in the new year, so we'll be in Derry, Belfast, going over to the UK, Scotland, Liverpool, that sort of stuff.
And Rocket being the title, as in, I mean, we know that it's colloquialism for somebody who just is
bit of a
life
rocket.
and soul of the body, shall we say. Is that what it's based on? Or are you talking about going into space?
It's based on the fact that I'm a rocket, but I'm getting old. So it can't be the same rocket I used to be.
Damp squib?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Catherine Wheel, maybe?
100%. Yeah, I'm a squealer. At most.
One of the indoor farmers?
Yeah, I'm one of them wee bangers just on the floor now. I mean, I'd love to go out with my back sore. So yeah, that's pretty much the crux of most of the show is me talking about. Because I'm going to be 40 now in 18 months.
Don't look it.
And that's because of the hat, because of a big pimple. That's why, by the way, this isn't an artistic choice. I just have a zit.
Well, it suits you.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, a denture gets you everywhere.
But you know, that's pretty much the crux of it. It's just me sort of having doctor's appointments, you go, well, that's starting to happen. All right, okay. Real funny, depressing stuff.
But they are. But that's one thing about people from Northern Ireland. We have found humour in everything.
Yeah.
And we get through the most appalling times in our lives with humour.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's not too many other places in the world that get us.
Yeah. Well, it's starting to translate a bit better now. I've noticed going across different places around the world where I think we're like the only country left that's still making fun of ourselves. Everybody else is taking things very seriously, and we're going, "Would you hear what happened to me?" Like I went to the doctor recently, and he told me a lot of things that I needed to pay attention to, but he also told me my liver was perfect, and I was like, "Well, I'm invincible." I was opening tins.
You don't need any more after that.
I'm invincible. I'm a Highlander.
Yeah, because I brought my sister to my appointments whenever I was talking to oncologists and whatever, and I was relating the story of what the oncologist said, and my sister went, I really don't have any recollection of that conversation whatsoever. Well, that's what I heard. Yeah. And that's all that's important.
I talked about my doctor's appointment on a podcast, and the doctor rang me. I went, Micky, that's not what I said. It made you seriously need to. You really need to start taking some vitamins. I was like, I'm drunk.
but the audiences just make it. And that's and the small venues, I think, are just brilliant.
Yeah, my favourite venues are kind of anything more than 100 people, and I'm going...
It's just like sitting in a room with your mates.
That's the thing, yeah. I think comedy, for me, is low ceiling, wee bit too warm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is perfect.
That sounds like my kind of night, Micky. Listen, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much. Wish you best of luck with Rocket. And coming to a venue near you.
Yeah.
Now, one of our favourite bands to appear on UTV Life is the Logues from Castlederg. And now, after 18 years, frontman Justin Logue is embarking on a new career. While he's still singing and dancing, it's through the use of Makaton, and he's signing too. And we joined him at St Bernard's Primary School in East Belfast to find out more.
Swapping the world of folk music for a more mindful audience. And it all happened organically for former frontman of folk rock band The Logues while searching for a way to communicate with his brand new baby son without waking the house during late night feeds.
I learnt what a wonderful world in sign language, and he absolutely loved it, and I saw how responsive he was even though he was only 6 months, 8 months old. So much so that with me doing Makaton, he's able to communicate simple words with me at 16 months. So I saw how well that done, and I decided I think I will go around all the schools because I think everybody needs to be able to communicate in a different way, make the world chat to each other more through wonderful communication.
Makaton is an informal language programme that uses signs, symbols and speech for people with communication and learning difficulties. And for Justin, it helps all children.
I use movement, music, mindfulness and Makaton because I find that Makaton is not just for neuroverbal children, it's for all children. And it really helps with their communication skills. And whenever you're learning Makaton, it's teaching them the skill of not just speaking, but you can also use your hands. There's a different way to communicate, and I think that's what everybody needs to know. It's not just chatting, because sometimes we use a lot of words, but whenever we think about what we say, we can do it in sign language as well. Green, green, orange, orange.
It's really special for my class to be involved in something like this, especially their first time, and for a lot of the children, their first experience with using Makaton as well, which is such an important skill for opening communication between all children. There's a child in my class who actually has a twin brother who is autistic and uses Makaton, so for her to be able to share that with her peers and for her peers to be aware of that has been really special as well.
Sometimes children just can't find the words to express themselves, so this gives them another way of expressing their feelings and another way to communicate how they are feeling when they're in that heightened state. So it just gives them another way when they can't find the words, so it gives every child a voice.
Red and yellow.
As well as touring schools, Justin has been busy with his new book Cam Island and theatre productions too. And it would seem he'll be signing at a place somewhere near you sometime soon.
A rainbow too.
Oh, I love that man. Well, still to come, I'll be talking to one of my favourite thriller writers, Steve Cavanagh, about his latest novel, Two Kinds of Stranger. Writer Mary Jones and actors Joanne Crawford and Katie Tumelty will be telling us about their play, Dear Arabella, and we'll have music from the Tumbling Paddies, so we'll see you shortly. Hello again. Now, lawyer turned author Steve Cavanagh has sold over 1 million copies of his novels in the UK alone. Many of his books have been nominated for major awards, and I'm sure the latest will be just as successful. Fans like me will be delighted to know that Two Kinds of Stranger is a case for New York con artist turned attorney Eddie Flynn, and I'm delighted to welcome Steve back to UTV Life. Steve, you've done it again.
Oh, thanks very much.
Can I say I have a pile of ironing in the house? I have dishes that haven't been done. There are emails to anybody who's waiting for an email from me. I'm terribly sorry, but I had to finish the book. So good.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you to say. I'm delighted.
Will you come round and do me ironing?
No,
Okay.
no. I'm quite happy to cause chaos, not so happy to clean it up.
How on earth do you come up, I know I've asked you this before, with these plots? Because there are so many different stories and threads through it. If you can, without giving anything away, tell us what it's about.
Sure. This book is about strangers and kindness. So it starts off with a woman called Ellie Parker, who's a social media influencer who encourages her followers to do random acts of kindness online, and she videos it and puts it on TikTok. And as she does a random act of kindness which backfires badly, basically. And the book is about her helping a perfect stranger, but she doesn't know the stranger she helps is the perfect killer.
And it is so incredible just how the minds of those people work. And I was saying to you before we came on air, my mind was also going, is Ellie all she's because you've got me now thinking, not trusting anybody who's nice.
Yes.
Which,
That's one of the things that can happen.
Yes.
But Ellie's one of those people that it doesn't matter, you know. It pays to be kind to people, and she's trying to. It was an interesting concept to write about.
I bet it was. But how do you come up with the concepts? Because you've got Eddie and his team, and I love the way you have each chapter is the person. It's Ellie, it's Logan, it's Eddie, it's Kate, it's whatever. But Eddie's the only one who's written in the first person.
Yes. Yes, he's my former con artist turned trial lawyer, and I started off writing the books in first person with him, so you hear Eddie as his own voice. He's talking directly to the reader, and I like that. I think it brings you closer to him, and you're kind of, you're sitting over his shoulder listening to everything he says, so it helps build a rapport with the reader, I think.
Well, was there something that twigged this book that just got the grain of the thought going?
Yeah, it was my wife, really. She sort of fell in love with TikTok and social media and wanted me to write something about social media influencers. And that got me thinking about other types of influencers. So the villain in this book is a very dastardly man who works in marketing. So because you have the individual person, influencing what they buy or what they've seen, and then you have these companies spending billions of dollars to learn how to shape human behaviour and to make us buy something or click something or read something. So all of that collides in this book.
And the fact that he is a damaged soul as well, but comes across so beautifully.
Yes, he
presents himself.
He's learned to come across like an ordinary human being, but beneath that beats the heart of darkness.
It's wonderful. Now, the last time you were in, we were talking about the potential, because I knew as soon as I read the first book, the potential for this to come onto the screen.
Yes.
How are we getting on with that?
It takes a long time. We're still working away on it. We've got a great studio and great producers and great writers and a bit of a cast. So we'll see how we go. Fingers crossed.
Rewind. Bit of a cast.
Yes.
Do we have Eddie?
We do, but I can't tell you who it is. Or a man comes and takes me away in a big net.
Okay. And if I'm found in a ditch somewhere and you've told me, then you're the prime suspect.
I'm the prime suspect.
Yes, and your wife would have to write about that.
She would.
But it is getting to that stage.
It is getting
so
to that
exciting.
stage. Yeah, it's really exciting. So
and is it a local production, or are you across in the States?
It would be in New York.
Right.
So fingers crossed.
And I would imagine the tariffs, etc., that were being mentioned might have shaped decisions as to where things were going to be filmed as well.
Oh, I don't think so.
No.
No.
But when you wrote your first novel about Eddie Flynn, because it's all set in New York,
yeah,
you hadn't been.
No, never been to the United States at all. Wrote 3 books without ever going there. But I've been now.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear
times. And I've toured there, so I know it a bit better now, and I think that helps a bit.
But the lingo's so American,
Yes.
and do you then transfer that into your everyday life? Like, do you talk when you go to put the shopping in the trunk of the car, or do you
No.
still put it in the boot?
I still put it in the boot, still goes in the boot.
And you still walk on a pavement?
I still walk on a pavement, yes.
That's good to know, not a sidewalk.
No.
There has to be another one in the pipeline.
There is. I'm working on one now, so we'll see how it goes. Bit too early to give anything away on that yet, but I'm working on it. There'll be a new Eddie Flynn next year.
Well, I also loved your standalone last year, Kill for Me, Kill for You, because at the start I was going, oh, this is like Strangers on a Train, and
Yes.
that's what it was based on. Did you even have a kernel of thinking of putting Eddie Flynn into that?
No, that sort of story wouldn't have worked with Eddie. That was a story focusing on two women and grief and the extents that they'll go to get justice.
So did you just want to step away from him?
I step away for a little bit, telling a different type of story for a while. And I like doing that. It changes things up.
Do you miss him when you step away?
I do and I don't. You know, he's always there in the back of my mind, but I like telling different kinds of stories, and it brings in different readers who'll read that and think, oh, there's a series that this person writes as well. I'll go and read some of them.
And they don't have to be read in order, which is so wonderful.
Yeah,
Well,
you
Steve,
can read them in any order.
It's an absolute gem. And as I say, I have to go home now and do the ironing. Thank you very much, and I cannot wait to see it on screen.
Thank you.
Well, now here's Brian Henry Martin with his entertainment tips for this week.
First up, great new Irish cinema, which packs a punch. It's Christie.
Just can't let the past get you down. You can't have a future.
Danny Parr is the Cork teenager at the crossroads in director Brendan Canty's heartfelt debut film. Next in the cinema, All Is Fair When Love is War in the Roses.
I don't think you have the capacity to fix your problems.
Are you actually allowed to say that?
That seems unprofessional.
Yes, like malpractice.
Ah, we'll be expecting a hefty discount.
It's Olivia Colman versus Benedict Cumberbatch in a reimagining of the 1980s matrimonial classic. And finally, what a spectacular setting for Shakespeare this weekend, with A Midsummer Night's Dream on the Hill of the O'Neill in Dungannon. Now remember, this is an outdoor event, so please dress appropriately and enjoy the magic. And have a great week.
Don't forget your vest. Well, writer Mary Jones is returning to the Lyric Theatre with her latest production of her play Dear Arabella, which was first performed there 7 years ago. And Rita's been to meet up with Mary and two of the cast, Joanne Crawford and Katie Tumelty, to find out more.
Yes, I'm joined by a lot of talent today. Thank you for joining me, Joanne, Mary and Katie. Mary, this is a wonderful story, and it's very moving. It's about three women who, after a chance meeting, it really impacts their lives.
That's right. You say it really is a chance meeting when one woman decides, I've had enough of this day in my life, I need to go away. But it was the time, a period when people just didn't do things on their own, particularly a woman of that background. So she gets on a train, she doesn't know where she's going. She says, I just want to go and I'll get off when I see the sea. She loses her confidence, but on the way she meets another person who helps her kind of finish that journey, and that journey impacts the lives of three women by just small gestures, but very cathartic for all of them.
It is. It's very moving, yet it's still got the Mary Jones kind of character humour. Hello from Blue Lights.
Hello, how you doing?
It's great to have you here at the Lyric. Now, you play the inspector in Blue Lights, of course. What's it like, this change?
It's such a lovely change. The character of Elsie that I'm playing, she's got a very warm, kind of imaginative, creative heart. And, you know, of course, with Mary's writing, you get a lot of the kind of intellectual sharpness and sense of humour. But she's living in, you know, quite a difficult set of circumstances. It's post-war, and her, as Mary said, her day just takes a little turn, and it ends up impacting the rest of her life in a way.
And it's your first time at the Lyric, so welcome to Belfast. Katie, you are back in the role as Jean after all these years. It must be lovely to be doing it again.
It is lovely. I mean, I have to say, I jumped at the chance whenever Mary said we were going to do it again. You know, Queen of Lexicon here. The writing is absolutely beautiful. You know, it is an act of genius. You know, she incorporates mirth and pathos and nostalgia all in the one play, you know. And I play Jean Timpton, a spinster who lives with her mother, under the toll of the bell and the church bell and the school bells and the factory horn. You know, a very insular life she leads, just going one street away. She's not known, you know. So yeah, she gets on the train one day and meets two ladies, and yeah.
And the rest is history. It's a wonderful story. I can't wait to see it. Thanks for talking to me. And it starts on the 24th of September.
Thank you.
And that's just about it for tonight. I'll be back next Friday evening at 7, and I hope you can join me then. Playing us out tonight are the wonderful six-piece band from County Fermanagh, the Tumbling Paddies, with their brand new single, You're All That Matters. Have a great weekend, and good night.
But now you long for time alone. You couldn't wait to get outside the door, but now the cover's blown. I'm on a boat that's out to sea, but now the tide has changed. I know you know the score, 'cause I can't say it anymore. You're all that matters, I knew all along. My whole world would shatter, I hope this love stays strong, 'cause you're all that matters. Thoughts keep haunting me. I use my chances, 1, 2, 3. Trust me, baby, I'm on my knees. If only I could make you see. You're all that matters, I knew all along. My whole world would shatter, I hope this love stays strong, 'cause you're all that matters. You're all that matters to me. You're all that matters, I knew all along. My whole world would shatter, I hope this love stays strong, 'cause you're all that matters. You're all that matters to me. You're all that matters. You're all that matters to me. You're all that matters. You're all that matters to me. Matters to